Hey Patriots, so what I wanted to go over with you in this video is the actual lesson to how to use our arc length formula to find measurements in a circle. So look back at your video notes and please answer your 5 bell work questions. Explain what arc length is. So look back, find your definition of arc length. So I want you to find the arc measure for arc EF. Remember, measure is how many degrees. Find the arc measure for arc EGF. That's the number of degrees. Then I want you to find the length of arc EF. It's this arc right here. How long is it? And they say, tell me what is the difference between arc measure and arc length. Go ahead and hit pause in the video and then answer those 5 questions. All right, let's find the arc length of arc EGF. All right, so we want arc length. Length of arc. And that formula is arc length over 2 pi r, because 2 pi r is the circumference of my circle. Arc length is a piece of the circle, and that's going to be degrees over 360. All right, so what we want is arc length. I want the measure, oops, not that one. Not that one. Do you see what I did wrong? That's arc EF. We want arc EGF. So start at E, go through G, end up at F. That's the arc I want. So L is going to be the variable we're looking for. We need R. R is the radius of the circle, and I need the degrees in that arc. Well, the central angle right here is the same as the degrees in this arc. But I don't want that arc. I need the other arc on the other side. So remember how we get that? We are going to do 360 minus 116. So I'm going to get out my calculator, turn it on, 360 minus 116, and that gives me 244. So we're going to say L equals 2 times pi times 4, and that's going to be the same as 244 degrees over 360. So I'm going to tighten up my 2 pi over 4 a little bit. L over 8 pi. And then I am going to reduce 244 over 360. And that's going to be 61 over 90. Now that I've got 2 fractions that equal each other, let's cross multiply. So we're going to have 90L equals, let's see, 61 times 8. That'll give me 488 pi. Then we need to divide both sides by 90, so I get L by itself. So L is going to equal, let's see, 488. Make sure you use your pi key. Pi divided by 90. We are going to hit enter. And my calculator tells me it's 17.0344135. But we want to look at what our instructions are. Oh, it doesn't tell us what to round it to. It should have. You know what? Boom. So let's round it to the nearest tenth, the nearest 1 decimal place. So my answer is going to be 17.0. Please double check your instructions on your homework on which decimal place to round it to. All right, let's find the measure of arc GF. Measure is the number of degrees. So to find the arc measure, what I notice they've given me radius. They've given me the length of this arc. This arc, it has a length of 7 pi. And what they want is the degrees. So we can still use arc length formula. The length of the arc over 2 pi r, the circumference of the circle, equals degrees divided by 360. What they want us to find is measure. measure is the degrees, and they want us to find the measure of arc GF. We're looking for the degrees in that arc. That means I've got to know L. L is arc length, which is going to be 7 pi, and 2 pi r, the circumference, I need the radius, is going to be 11. So let's plug everything in. The green is going to be 7 pi over 2 times pi times 11. That's going to equal the degrees in the circle, that's what I'm looking for, over 360, because measure is degrees. Now what's kind of cool about this, you might notice pi over pi, the pi's cancel out. So that's going to leave us 7 over 22 equals d over 360. So we're going to cross multiply 360 times 7. That's going to give me 2,520. That's going to equal 22d. Divide both sides by 22. And we're going to get d is about, let's round it to the nearest hundredth again, 2 decimal places, divided by 22, gives me 114.55. Boom. So this one asked me to find the circumference of circle O. Circumference, remember, is the distance around the circle. What they've given me is they've given me this central angle, the degrees in this arc, and then they've given me the arc measure to this circle. I'm sorry, the arc length of this this arc. They've given me the arc measure of, let me try that again. They've given me the arc length, the length of this arc. There we go. Much better. So we can still use, believe it or not, arc length formula. We can use arc length because we've got an arc length. So arc length equals 2 pi r. And 2 pi r is what we are looking for. This is the circumference of the circle. And that's going to equal degrees over 360. So we are looking for this whole thing, circumference. L is the length of an arc, and degrees is the degrees. Why did it go? I clearly had blue selected. Weird. And degrees is the degrees that go with the green arc. Well, if on top is 75, we need to find the arc on the other side. So we're going to do 360 minus 75. So that's going to be 300 minus 15 more. So that should be 285. And I will just double check in my calculator because I don't want to miss it because of sloppy arithmetic. And I am right. So the arc length that we are given is 20. We want to find the circumference. I'm just going to call that whole thing C. I'm not going to find radius. I'm going to find the entire circumference. 2 pi r is circumference. And that's going to give me 285 over 360. I'm going to reduce that fraction. And we're going to get 20 over the circumference equals 19 over 24. So from here, we can cross multiply. 19 times C is 19C, and 20 times 24 gives me 480. I need to get C by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 19. Divide by 19. 480 divided by 19 is roughly, gives me a rounded 25.26. Boom. So let's find the length of arc GF. We're going to see something like this on our test. So arc length, again, arc length over circumference, 2 pi r, equals degrees over 360. Now the arc length we want, we are looking for arc length. GF, it's that arc there. So we must know radius of this circle. They didn't give us radius. And we have to know degrees in that arc. And they didn't give us that either. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. I can find the degrees in the arc because all those central angles have to add up to 360. So if I have 360 and I take away what they've already given me, that should be 160. Let's just double check that because I don't want to miss problems because of sloppy arithmetic. Indeed, it's 160. So this degrees right here is 160, but we're still missing radius. So how are we going to find radius? Well, notice we have this angle and this arc length. If I've got a degree and an arc length, we can find radius for this circle. So I'm going to say I have an arc length of 15 pi. We're going to divide that by 2 pi r because I need the radius of this circle, and that's going to be the degrees in, not this degrees, but the 75, because the 75 goes with the 15 pi arc length. So that's going to be 75 over 360. My pi's cancel out, so we're going to have 15 over 2r. That's going to equal 75 divided by 360. I like simplifying my fractions if I can to make my cross multiplying easier. 5 over 24. Nobody stopped me. That shouldn't be 25. That should be 2r. Why did I write 25? So let's cross multiply. We're going to get 10r equals 15 times 24. How if I could push the right keys in the calculator? 15 times 24. And that's going to give me 360. So the radius of this circle is 36. Wow, that's a large circle. Alrighty, so did it want us to find radius? No, it wanted us to find this arc length. So we need to find L now that we know the radius. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of work, but that's okay. We've got this. We want to find L over 2 times pi times r, which is going to be, come on, scroll down. Thank you. R is 36. So r radius times 2 is 72 pi. That's going to be 160 over 360. Oh my goodness. Come on now. Don't be moving stuff. There we go. We're back. 160 over 360. Let's reduce that because, like I said, it'll make my cross multiplying a little easier. That's going to be 4 over 9. So L over 72 pi equals 4 over 9. Let's cross multiply. 9L equals 4 times 72, 288 pi. Don't forget the pi. I'm running out of room. So L equals 288 pi divided by 9. So we're going to go ahead and do that division. 288 pi. Don't forget to use the pi key in your calculator. And that will give me an arc length of 100.53. Boom, and that's our answer. All right, so I am running out of time on this video. That should get you enough done with this until I get there. So I will see you when I get into class, Patriots. Go ahead and start on your assignment.